Hi YouTube, how are you all doing? Thank you for joining me. I have a message I want to share with the younger generations that might encourage you to help and work with your youngsters or young people in your life that you may know. Um, the Christ Spirit within everybody, how we were made, everybody was planned. I know it seems so incredible that God could know us before we were put onto this planet. But for all the confusion that's going on in the world nowadays with the younger people, I feel as though it's my duty, our duty as adults, to grab these children and hold them tight with our hearts and say, listen, little people, you're beautiful the way you're made. There's a reason why you're made with blue eyes or green eyes, whether you're a man or a woman. There's a reason God designed you beautifully and wonderfully made to be you. We need to reach the younger generations with that message so much. I don't mean to or intend to be too preachy with people and put anybody at a standstill from the God in their heart, which in my opinion isn't a religion. It's a way of life. It's who we are born to be. Whatever language we call it in. And it's not whatever religion. Yes, some strive to be of that. Others strive to be of Zion. One of the videos I shared yesterday, which I think is super important, um, and that'll be basically my subtopic, is how the Book of Moses and Torah has been fabricated from about 600 years ago and chronologically documented now with historians and there's archaeologists and just great minds now that have come from around the world and compiled proof that the people that took over Israel are not the true Israelites, and that the true chosen people that were spoken about in the scriptures aren't the people that are occupying that land at this time. They have developed banking systems and trickery and foolery all over this planet to control and use people, and that's what it's all about. So I am going to leave a link to Archaics, Jason Brazier's. Uh, he's got it in proof. There's a black and white writing from all around the world, solid proof that these people moved and changed the wording in scriptures and added books and took books out. I mean, that doesn't take God out of our heart, and that doesn't take Christ away from us. This is just another means of intertwining truth with true. And yeah, I'm going to point out a couple of religions, being like Catholics and Judaism, period. Top of my list, ixnay, bye-bye, you know. Um, so yeah, there's solid proof, and I knew this anyway. If you're new here, just to let you know, not to point at you, uh, just to let you know, number one, thank you very much. And number two, I get a little radical. I'm very passionate. I was adopted and raised by Masons. I was abused at 2 weeks old, brought back and sold again to another group of Masons that I finally was able to run away from until I was divorced them in a court. I was one of the first children in the United States of America to divorce their adopted parents. So, and some of the Masons helped me learn how they were tricking people. Jesuit, Mason, Shriners. I've been around all of it. Had access to a lot of information a lot of people don't. And that's when I know when I hear something that is a part of their agenda, and I'm a warrior against that stuff. So that's what I'm doing out there because I know who they are and they know who I am. So, uh, little little briefer there. I'll get back to my topic too. Um, or it could be it'll be varying things, but really what was upmost on my mind today was our instructions from God and portraying that to the little people. That's the most important thing in the world because without a stable adult in their life, no matter what the world appears to be. And right now, I have adult sons that totally, I mean, I guess, well, yeah, some days they hate my guts because I'm not going to tolerate um, wickedness and filthy language. It's not just the filthy language, I'm talking wickedness coming out of anybody I raise because they totally know better. So, yeah, I'm at war with my own kids. So, I'm I have faith that, and God told my heart that He will help them, and I have faith He will. I may not see it, but I believe He will. And also, if you're new here, I have 4 beautiful granddaughters that I'm concerned about on this planet that don't have a lot of help in their life. And I mean, their mothers, I should say, are wonderful people, especially the one, my precious daughter-in-law forever. My daughter in my heart um, is a wonderful woman and has had to be stronger than a lot of people should ever have to be. And I think a lot of you know where I'm coming from on that one. You know, we've been through some pretty wicked things on this planet that needs to stop. It really needs to stop, and the only way it's going to is by confronting it on a daily basis wherever we see the wickedness. Not to just walk by and say, oh, you just exposed yourself in front of my child. No, pervert, you need to go to jail for exposing yourself in front of children. You know, what they're trying to normalize on this planet so they can have their way with the little people. It's so disturbing. And I'm after the ones, not necessarily the ones that are even doing it, but the ones that are helping them do it. Like if there's a man or a woman out there and you're calling a man a woman, or you think it's okay for that man to walk in a woman's restroom while she's in there for her privacy, you have screws loose. As a matter of fact, your mind is criminal and it's filthy. I just said it. Now, if you're a husband and you have a wife and you don't care if a man walks in the restroom, maybe if she's pulling up her panties or has her back to this man or whatever comes in her private space, if you would allow that, you can go to hell. Seriously. So, and if you're a woman not thinking that's a big deal, you probably need something to happen to you to make sure that you think it's a big deal. Maybe you'll be the one. Hey, I'm just speaking what's on my mind. If you think I'm hateful, I don't care because hate doesn't even enter my heart or soul, not at any time. Unless you're a man trying to beat me up, then I'm probably gonna use some hate shit on you. If you're a woman, I probably wouldn't even combat you at all. Maybe oppose you with my words, but that's as far as that would go. You know. So anyway, yeah. I'm not in the mood I was in even yesterday, but and I did just get done doing my exercises, but I literally psyched myself out so I could be a little less radical with a little less adrenaline. So yeah, it's Sunday, you know. I spent probably 2 hours talking to Doug this morning, and um, he thanked me for the sermon, you know, because I really do. I think it's out of habit from my childhood and keeping Sunday sacred family day type of thing. And it's just ingrained in me like that. So, yeah. But I do get a little preachy, especially on Sundays. But, yeah. A lot of you don't know. A lot of you heard me say this before. A lot of you think I'm whacked, but I live with Satan. He was trying to kill me and my children anyway. And I'm a warrior. I got sick of running. So I came back to Minnesota, the state I was born in, to confront that energy that had always tried to take me down. Because I figured it's in a human form that can be dealt with. Although, I mean, the darkness is going to be out there anyway that I would have to battle. So it didn't matter. And the witchcraft that's been used on me through the decades and the times they've tried to take me out and failed. So, and what I'm saying is absolute truth. So, there's something else about me too. I will stake my soul on being an honest person. My motto is I would rather die than lie. And I ask people, how about you? I would stake my soul that I am a righteous woman on my word like that. And I just ask other people, just do the same thing. It's pretty simple. What are you afraid of? You say you're good, you know. So go ahead and say it. Say it right now to me. I'd rather die than lie. Wouldn't you rather die than be a liar than die being a liar? Yeah, it's a pretty big deal, you know. And that brings me around to men pretending they're women. Yes, people have emotional handicaps. This is not one of it. This is demonic. Now there may be out of a million men that go to transgender, there may be one that has actual emotional problems. Not psychopathic and psychopic. One of the tetrads, like the dark triad used to be, is called a tetrad now, with sadism added to it. And that is what these men are. They're sadistic, it's sadism, you know. And, yeah, we're not going to play in their pretend world because we're bringing heaven down to our planet, the one that we have dominion over. So I'm not playing their game. I'm not buying into it. And I refuse to be yelled at and called names because I am not going to pacify these creeps. And I'm not going to allow it around my life or my children's lives if I can help it at all. They've had enough of that, trust me. You know. I'm listening to I don't know how to say his last name. My Russian friends will probably know how to say. Well, I know the first name is Vladimir. He's a pastor, Pastor Vlad. Let me see if I can get his last name. Is Oh, I can't get his last name, but I think of him as Vlad the Impaler because, and he's nicer than me when he's gonna preach. He's more of the passive mindset. I'm more of the coming back with a sword, um, and what comes next, spirit. So he's a little different than I am, but we're on the same team. you know, I'm the type of person you want next to you if you're in danger. I'm the person that you would come to if you're afraid or in trouble or that type of. I'm not, and I'm not saying that there aren't pastors of churches that will um, threaten a bodily smackdown on somebody if they need it. Like, no, you're not going to hurt this person because I'm going to step in between you and this person. That I've done before. When I moved in here, and it'll be 33 years, Doug and I have been together. We were married on the 4th of July because we're independent souls, but together it's a different type of relationship. Yeah, it's actually called You Thought You Were Tormenting Me, but you'll find out who's going to win that battle, is what that one's called. But when I moved up around here, there were a lot of people that wanted to assassinate him, and I put an end to that. I confront monsters. I don't run from them, is what I'm saying. And that Canaanite blood isn't supposed to be harmed, no matter what, because they're supposed to have the chance, with their free will, to pull themselves out of the mire. And the people that are trying to help them, well, my help's a little bit different. It might and could get physical. It hasn't many times, but it has. So that's who I am. So anyway, it's just me. It's the way I'm made. I had to fight all my life. I didn't have a choice. It's not something I wanted, and I got sick of being hurt. So one day I did something about that and started training harder than anybody I knew. Yesterday I did a balancing strength example for people. And this is after I have had so many accidents and things in my life physically that God has helped me overcome. I wasn't supposed to walk. 17 years old, car accident, spinal cord injury, an inch and a half. I stretched it. You don't walk after that, but with the grace of God, I did. And my doctor told me you'll never like it, like he was just handing me a candy bar or something. He gave me some muscle relaxants and pain pills or some damn thing, and handed me this and another prescription and said you'll never walk again. My friends carried me in there, carried me back out. Well, he was wrong. It was about a month and a half, and after about 2 weeks, I was going crazy, so I started pulling myself up on a chair and just standing. My legs would wobble, and it was so painful. I had to crawl on the floor to the bathroom. So, like, this was some serious stuff. Just things like that that I've lived through and excelled after that. You know, the list goes on. It's crazy the amount, the length of that list that I've overcame. A stroke. I couldn't talk. I couldn't walk. Yeah. We had a gas company come and put new lines under our house for our stove and our hot water heater, and they used water fittings instead of the gas ones. And it leaked into my house. Although I had a carbon monoxide detector, it didn't get off the floor high enough. But where I was sleeping on the couch at that time, a gas line was right by me, and it was slowly killing me. Isn't that crazy? So I ended up having my hair fall out, and I was bald. All kinds of, I'm talking crazy things. And then I dug out a tree, broke my shoulder and my arm right after I had broken my toes, and I, I mean those are minor things compared to some of the things I've been through too. So anyway, when I hear people praise God, oh yes, this goes way beyond that. I couldn't even describe it, that thankful part of my life to people, and how I see as a miracle, miracles, not even supposed to have kids. I mean, all the miracles and gifts, you know. Cheers, everybody. Yeah. Let me think what else is going on today. I don't know. I was thinking about making a chicken noodle soup with carrots and celery and everything, but I don't know. I'm contemplating what to make or nothing. you know. Yeah, last night was just some homemade bread I had made, and I fried some eggs, and then we had chocolate ice cream cones. So, yeah. Doug's out weed whipping the yard, cleaning up around all the trees and the house and everything, making it look pretty. So, yeah, it's hot out too. He was working out there yesterday too. Yeah. He's in better spirits than he ever was for like over 3 decades. So I know the Christ spirit is more prevalent on the planet. I can tell by that. And that in turn will rub off on the dark cabal. But they hate him for it, and they do want to take him out because of it. So I this it's hard to explain, but it's like the satanic force is the energy people put out, like my in between 15 to like about 17, I wasn't in a good frame of mind. It was from trauma and abuse, but I'm not using it as an excuse. I had murderous intent that God kept me from, but my heart was waxing cold, and I saw where Satan was taking me. God always holds my hand. I'm so thankful for that because he never lets me go, you know. Of course, if I had chosen to go, but we all do have that decision to make in our lives, not to become bitter or. whatever the case may be. So, and really, even dealing with narcissists in life, there's a time to be passive, because Doug did commend me on he said, you must have taught Job how to be patient. Well, yeah, I did. uh, there's a time for being passive with people that are being unnaturally wicked and dirty on this planet. And there's also another time to speak your mind in the best manner possible. But sometimes our words aren't so soft. So if I get out here and I'm screaming at demons that are in people that I know their potential is more than what they're portraying, I'm screaming at demons. I'm screaming at the dark cabal and the people that are carrying that bloodline for their own gains and not caring about the next generations coming up on this planet. And on that note, how that appears at that time, I don't care what anybody thinks when I'm talking to that shit. You know, I treat people accordingly, and I've not always been like that either. It's, and it isn't out of suffering and it isn't out of bitterness. It's what they need. So, and we are in these times where you don't pacify brutality or wickedness. No, you draw it out and you say, look, this is your chance to straighten up as a decent human being, because they don't believe their time is short. But I'll tell you what, the world leaders know full well it is. They just want to take down as many as they can on their way down. That's all there is to that. So that's what's going on. And yeah, they want everybody dead. That's the satanic spirit. They think it's some kind of game that they're going to win, you know? And you don't play with human beings. So that's why they don't deny the scriptures, because their wickedness, they do not want to stop their wicked ways and their use of witchcraft. So, and that's exactly who they are. If they're doing witchcraft, if they're demonic, if that's who they're acting like, that's in their blood. That's who they are. You can pray for Christ to go in their hearts. That's all we can do. And you know what? I have no trust for them till time's up, because I know better. It's just that I've been instructed to tell them what's up, and so have a lot of other people, and whether or not they listen, that's totally on them. But yeah, the whole thing about Judaism is nothing but control, you know. Yes, it's fake. There's a lot of countries that will not even allow that bloodline around them at all. That's a fact, you know. And just look who we're at war with, supposedly. One of the only countries one of them, that is very family centered, structured around family. Not something my country has anymore. We have it, but a lot of family people are laying low, hoping the chaos is going to kind of pass over like a bad cloud. But it's not. We have to stand up to it. Anyway. So what I do here is speak my mind. I do have a big brain too. So I always think of something to talk about. And like I tell people, and it is true, it's the biggest truism right here. What we put out on this planet, what we say today, little ears hear it, that can last for 7 generations into the future if you want to be responsible for that, you know? That's a pretty big deal, no matter who we're talking to. So I am never going to accept the fact that what is what God has joined together, perverts will try and infiltrate. And I'm not buying it, and I'm not accepting it, and I'm not going to promote it. And people that do, you need to be hung by your feet in the town square for a long time, so everybody can see who the fool was. Who agrees? They're hurting kids. Like 5-year-olds do not need to know about gender. There's only 2 of them. They don't need to hear whose anybody's sexuality is what, ever. And that's up to the parents to teach them, not the school system or any other retarded, regressed, perverted piece of shit. Yeah, okay. I'll hold it a minute. I'm not going to take it back, but I will curb it. Oh, by the way, to my lawyer friend in Russia, when I was saying some people are lawyers, I'm a warrior. Well, I had to study the state statutes in my state and sub-statutes to get my contractor's license. So, I mean, I did study law in a sense. So I'm not putting you down. I was putting another attorney down, and he lives in the United States, just to clear that up. I'm sure you knew that anyway, but I just thought I'd tell you. So I wasn't talking to you, Kay. Sorry. I if I had been thinking I might, but I had to say it like that because that's who he is. So anyway, hi to all you over there. I hope you're doing well. How's your potatoes growing? Good, I hope. You know what? I don't even know what season of the year you all are in right now. Of course, we're summer here, but I'm thinking because of the hemisphere, you're probably just about like we are right now, sunny summer days, or, probably pretty close to the same type of on the longitude of the planet. Those ley lines were probably, well, I think I am on about the 49th parallel. So somewhere in there. I'm not sure. I looked it up one time, but now I can't remember. But some people know, but others don't. The ley lines and the monoliths around the world um, can be used uh, in the ether. That's how Satan talks to you in your brain and in your flesh like that. He uses the planet's energy in the atmosphere. And the ether is a part of that atmosphere that can't be proven because this is a spiritual place for this war that we're in vessels battling with our mouths like an extra weapon. you know? It's really just to clean up the dirty blood. They either want to be, I just thought of a joke too. They either want to be a part of the fold or they don't. So I told Doug this morning, um, and a manifold is a part of the car. It's a part of that goes over the lifters on the top of the car. It's called a manifold. So what do you call a tranny, a transition man that has a vagina? A manifold. Oh, ooh, that's bad. Huh? And Doug goes, "Welcome to the fold," and I'm like, "Ooh, that's bad." Yeah, bad jokes. Funny. So, yeah, could just imagine the wild conversations around here if what I'm saying is absolutely true, because it is. Yeah. That's so disgusting. Ugh. Or a woman that would want to be a man. I saw one with a fedora on it. It's like, that does not help. Yikes. Anyway. Oh, well, I don't know. That's probably about it for today. You know, like I say, just stand up in your own individual lives as far as if you have somebody being narcissistic and cold hearted with you, point out to them that it is a documented behavioral problem called sadism, and it can be proven by their actions. And some of us professional trained counselors, or if you have more credentials or whatever you do, ministers, whoever, parents, whoever, we can pinpoint these things and pinpoint it out in a person, and it makes it less likely that they will be getting away with all that in the future if more people are educated on exactly what that type of thing is, you know. And it is satanic, it's selfishness, it's bullying, it's the nastiness within these creatures that they think they're going to get away with, that I'm saying they're not. So if you need a good channel to pinpoint the behavioral sciences or whatever, let me know. I know a lot of people that I could recommend, but the one I'd say probably the top would be Dr. Grande. He's he's pretty on top of it as far as explaining things. I don't always agree with his outlook upon things, especially when it goes to the queer community. Because I've always said too, and a lot of people believe this way, what you do in private, you don't see me holding a sign. In fact, if I didn't tell you I was married, you wouldn't even know it. But that's not the point either. Whether I'm proud of that or not has no bearing on it either, you know. But my question for the queers still stands. Um, I have a video now. I put it as a premiere on my channel because it's valid questions and solutions for people without the agendas of the dark cabal and the world globalists, the global-minded people that want to take all your rights away and put you in a cage and work you to death and your children after that. And I'm fighting to put a stop to all that. And I'm not going to allow anybody that has even an inkling towards any of that type of behavior to get away with it. So if you need help on nailing somebody in your life like that, you just let me know, or keep your eye on my channel, because I share an awful lot of information that are going to nail these people. And in here, I will put a link to, I'll put it in the description to why the ones that say they are the Israelites aren't the true people of God at all. They are not the chosen. The only thing they were chosen for was more scripture pointed towards them that they refuse to abide by and stop twisting. So they got extra instructions that they didn't even take, is what I'm saying. It's probably not even meant for you. You know, it was meant for the Canaanite bloodline, the Phoenicians, and those ones like that, you know. So, all right, everybody, thank you for joining me. I love you all. Have a really beautiful night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.